Hey there, UK users. We're doing a dual review today. Guest appearance. This is just basically going to be a side-by-side review of the mid-tech and the production, just because, look, between you and me, they are quite similar. So I don't feel like it's worth doing a video for each of these. I think it'd be a sort of sucking people's time away too much. So if I just smack both of these together, boom, we're done. So this one's available for £95 pretty much anywhere you like. This one is available for £232 off of Heine Haynes, or you can go and ask for a custom from Michael Vagnino himself at a Blade Show or something like that, or you can go onto his website. He's got a couple of Tanto ones left, I think. But yeah, they're few and far between the mid-techs and the customs. So with these, the action, is there anything I can say that hasn't been said already by me? I love them. I think this one runs on ball bearings, and I don't think that makes any difference because, I mean, just listen to the little, and then now listen to this one. Nothing. There's no little. This has got the action's still superb, but the noises are just gone on this one. Whereas these two, I'll just leave them in the corner. They have fantastic, like little chinky noises as you open and close them. So yeah, that spring strength on these is not strong. It is not a strong spring, which I appreciate because it means you can actually open it with a thumb. And, you know, to be honest, you put your finger there and that stops that closing. And even if you don't, you're not cutting yourself. Unless your fingers are, like, very large. You shouldn't really have too much of an issue with that. And then you can just retreat and open that. But you should be holding it like that anyway, and that should never be an issue. And I'm a fan of that style. Of course, they're all the same. They're just, like, basically the same knife. They run on, like I said, ball bearing, phosphor bronze and Teflon, phosphor bronze and Teflon. You can see this inside will be largely the same as this one if you want a disassembly. So I've disassembled this one in the unboxing. This one I've disassembled, so I won't be disassembling this one because it's a loaner from Paddy. Thank you very much, Paddy. If you aren't aware of Paddy's potato peelers because you're living under a rock somehow, go and check him out. He's an awesome dude. But yeah, I won't be taking this apart as it's a loaner. But it's going to be the same setup as this one, I would imagine. The pivots on these are just, it's sort of T8 on there. And you've got T6s for everything else. It's the same, it's the same. The pivot on this, I think, looks the best. But you're not paying 200 quid for a pivot. Or 100 and something for a pivot, anyway. You do not get a lanyard hole on any of these, which is a bit of a shame, but I don't really feel like I need lanyard holes on knives with clips on them, and the clips on these are very deep carry. More so on this one. If you have a look, you can see this one just pops out a little bit more than this one, and it's squashed a little bit more, so it ramps down a bit more, which results in it being point something % more comfortable than this one. But yeah, this one really melts into the hand, whereas this one you can just about feel it. Nothing much in it. What I would say is, you may have noticed, you can see a lot of reflection in this clip and not in the other two. That's because this one is a very shiny clip. That's something to consider in the UK, especially where people are a lot more scared of knives than everywhere else in the world, especially at the moment. So maybe, if that was my knife, I would be doing something about that. I'd maybe just take a lighter to it and just, you know, blacken up the clip or something. It's not mine, so it's not a problem for me. But there you go. That's something to note. They're both G10 scales with liners. I believe just steel liners. And you got your little spring just there and just there. It's just literally that bit there. This one's titanium. I would say that's the worst of these three. Just for ergonomics, the materials are better on this one, but it's just too thin. If you have a look at it, like, and it's too easy just to slip off of this one. That's by no means a bad knife. I mean, I gave this a glowing review because I loved it, but it's less ergonomic than these two in hand, definitely. So if you actually just want to focus, camera, thank you. You haven't focused. There we go. These clips are not reversible or changeable in any way. It's just tip up right hand only, which is a bit of a shame. There is no jimping on any part of these knives. It's just as you get them, and again, like as people have said, like there's not really much point in jimping on a slip joint really, because unlike with something like this, if you're pushing on the back of the knife, you're just closing it, and it doesn't really matter where you've got your finger in the way. But if you've got jimping up here, you're just doing that with the blade, so it's not really necessary, I wouldn't say anyway. The grip on this is phenomenal. It's the same for both. Like I said, this one's a wee bit more comfortable. Like I'm talking such a small change. It's just because the back is a little bit thicker, like the scales on the mid-tech are a little bit thicker, and the clip is a little bit more comfortable on the mid-tech. Aside from that, they are pretty much the same thing. So if you don't have the money for the mid-tech, don't feel bad about it. I almost feel bad, for spending on the mid-tech instead of just getting this one. But I don't know, I really like this knife. So I felt like I had to kind of get the mid-tech on this one. You get your guard there, so you get your finger guard if you're holding this correctly. So you never really have to worry about this closing on you as long as you're using it correctly. And the grip, like I said, is phenomenal. Just really fits right in there. Fit and finish on these it's phenomenal all round. This came with the mid-tech had a weird issue with the blade where you had a big old point here and then like a weird recurve here, which you can see by the factory grind. I have sorted that out. That is one neat thing now, but obviously because I don't want to grind away too much of the blade, I haven't evened out the bevel yet. I'm just going to let that happen on its own. So that looks a little bit goofy. But wouldn't you know, on the custom knife, the production knife, yeah, it's all pretty uniform. They do a much better job on that. So that's a bit of a weird one. Aside from that, there's nothing I can see. There's a few imperfections in this because it was hand sanded and things like that, but that adds to it for me, and I think that's resulted in a much more attractive G10 pattern than just the straight lines on the production there. This one's much more interesting and wavy and stuff. So this is N690, which is a fantastic steel, really nice, takes a nice easy edge and holds it for a while. This one is K110, which is the high end of D2 for edge retention, I believe. And they both cut like a razor. There's not much in it. It's nice to have some K110 though. But yeah, I haven't noticed enough of a difference for it to make me be like, wow. It's a good seal. I haven't had anything, I haven't noticed anything wrong with it. I haven't had to sharpen it since initially reprofiling it, so there's that. Billboarding on these, of course, you get your Zipslip. You get nothing on the top of the mid-tech. You get your Vagnino up there on top of the production, on both. And on this side, you just get MV² knives, which is Michael Vagnino, and 2 because it's a mid-tech. If it was a custom, it would just get rid of that 2. And then, or squared, I guess. And then on this one, you get Kizer, you get N690, and you get that bloody serial number. What? Stop that. Stop serializing. Stop putting serial numbers on these. A big difference you may have noticed is the cutout size on the blade. Now, I thought Kizer had improved a lot on Vagnino's design there, because I mean that just looks like it will fit your thumb better. Do you know what? It doesn't make that much of a difference, to be honest. Really, it doesn't. Ooh, he says, fucking up. But no, I haven't noticed I slip off of one of these more or less than the other. I mean, if they'd have chamfered this bottom bit, I think that would have really finished it off. But I think this just needs to be just chamfered, like here at the bottom, like really severely, so that almost like it's an ultra thin grind just there, and then it goes back to being thick at the top, so you can really push your thumb in. As it is, like with a Spidey hole, you can get your whole thumb in there. With this, nah, just a little bit. And plus, I'd say the other problem with these ones is, and probably why this one works just as well, this one isn't chamfered at the top where your thumb grips. This one is. Kizer, that's going to make it harder to grip it. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if they chamfered the bottom more and the top not at all, I guess that would improve the characteristics, but there you go. You get a finger and a sharpening choil on these bad boys, which I love seeing that. That's fantastic. And centering on this one is a hair to the left. Don't know if you can see that. It's really nothing, but it's just a hair to the left on that one. On this one, it is... looks dead spot on to me. Blade play, nothing. Ooh, there's a tiny bit. I don't know if you can see the Vagnino wiggling there. I wonder if that just needs tightening. Yeah, because there's none on here. Let me try that. Maybe it's just come loose in use. Still got some. Oh, of course, it's that stupid non-captive pivot. Well, I'm not going to do too much with this because I don't wish to damage someone else's property kind of thing. Yeah, that's unfortunate, that is. That does have a little, just a smidgen of blade play. I guess that's how it came from the factory. But I'll let Paddy sort that one out because it's his knife. I'm not going to start, you know, once it gets too close to me disassembling it, I'm going to stop. Because if I slip and scratch the blade with my my bit, I'll just be buying a new one. So I'll save myself the money there. I'd rather not damage someone else's property like that, or at least risk it anyway. So I guess the Vanguard one, you might need to tighten up the pivot a bit, and you will need 2 T8 bits for that, which is irritating. But I know for a fact that it will work fine once you tighten that up, because this one has no blade play. And I suspect that would sort the centering out on this as well, because the centering on this one's fine. So I think that's just literally just needs a quick tighten on the pivot. But like I said, I don't want to risk that when it's not my knife. So let's do a size comparison. Oh, let's do the 3 bloody Zipslips first. So boom, stuff on this side. Disgusting. There we go. So, oh my god, they're all the same size. This one's the thinnest, then this one's a big chunk. Let's use this one as the size comparison. So, we got this boy. We got this boy. And there you go. It's look at that, right around that size. So this is completely safe to carry. You don't need to worry about this being outside of legal limits or anything like that. It's very firmly within the threshold. The American boys, yep, that's a much bigger everything. And again, and everyone's got this knife at the moment because it's on sale at Walmart. I've been seeing on Knife Club, everyone's posting, so you're lucky boys. So there we go. Now this knife, I feel like, was very nearly made for me. I love these knives, specifically these Zipslips. I mean, I love all these knives, but I really like these Zipslips. They are fantastic. Absolutely. Like, Eric at Slick Slicers really hates the action on these. He thinks it's silly and half stops in a weird place. And it does, admittedly. That is a weird place for the half stop to fall to. But for me, just because of the way I use knives and the way I like one-handed, I just do that, doom, and then that's just the perfect height for me to just get my thumb over or get my finger up and just finish that off. And I love that. I think that's exactly the perfect, like, exactly where I want it to fall. It just makes closing it so efficient. Look at that. Just open. No, I can leave my fingers over there and know that'll be fine. I just do the old nah and then move them. It's lovely. It's really up my alley, that whole action there. I really do like it. I think this is the perfect size for an EDC knife. It fits so well in the hand. Like the ergos on this particularly, it's just phenomenal. I'd say they're slightly worse on this. This one it's not bad at all. It's just, you know, you hold this and then you hold that and you're like, where's it all gone? This one's a nice medium. This one's fine. It's very close to this one. If I was going to recommend one, I would probably go with this one, to be honest. If you really, really like grey slabs, or you really want to spend the extra money on the extra stuff, this is a fantastic knife as well. This is really, really nice premium. And if you're an idiot like me, you can go ahead and buy the mid-tech. That said, whichever one you get, if you get any, they will surely be a dependable, fantastic knife. Like I said, even though it has a weak spring, your finger choil there, you can always be fairly safe. And, you know, it crushes your finger between those 2 points, and not in a bad way, in a way like it's not just going to push your finger out of the way, it's actually going to pinch it before. So you know that doesn't hurt really. It means your finger's not slipping out of there unless it's wet, I guess. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is definitely one to experience, at least for me. I really do like the Zipslip. Let's have a quick, just before I go, quick look at these differences. So this is the real leaf shape blade that Vagnino does, and this is Kizer's interpretation thereof. Just see, there's minor differences. It's like the swedge, the shape of that hole. For some reason, Vagnino decided to put a recurve on the bottom of his, which I didn't like. This does come razor sharp, though. He does a good job of sharpening it. Well, he does a good job of getting a keen edge on this. No, I don't know what I'm talking about with knife making. I'm certainly not a knife maker. I'm just some poxy knife reviewer on the internet that doesn't really know a lot, but I know I like these. So whichever one of these you get, if you get any of them, it'd be fantastic. And I'm 19 minutes here, so I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers, guys.